What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zeke Said So YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've made a video on this YouTube channel, and I apologize for that, but we're back and we're doing a special video. This is gonna be, I haven't done one of these in such a long time. I'm doing a DVD/Blu-ray collection video. Again, haven't done one of these in a long time, and I thought, you know what? I got some time on my hands. I'm gonna do them right here, right now, so you guys can see them. I should warn you right up front. First of all, you're gonna hear a background noise, but I have a fan going on because it's actually really hot. And also, I'm gonna be doing this video COVID-19 style. Let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne. Okay, I'm actually gonna take this off. Okay, I tried. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Alright. By the way, I just said a Bane quote while I'm wearing a Joker hat. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get right onto it. And we're gonna start with the TV shows that So the first TV show we got here is we got the Avatar Last Airbender complete series. Obviously, you guys know this is my favorite TV show of all time. If you guys go listen to the Zeke Said So show, there is a show where I am reviewing every single episode of this show. But you know, it's on Netflix right now, and sometimes you wonder, why buy this when you can watch it on Netflix? Well, I'll tell you why you buy physical copies of shows like this that are on Netflix. Because someday the internet is going to go out. Someday the apocalypse is going to start and the internet's not going to be around. So what do? You got these. You got these for entertainment. So, wow, did I just figure out the way to survive the zombie apocalypse? Huh. Okay. And then we got the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. This is another one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And yeah, I love it. Then we got Friends Season 1 and 2. And then we got Seinfeld Season 1 and 2, and then Seinfeld Season 3. I actually really like Seinfeld. It's actually one of my favorite TV shows of all time, actually. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to... Okay, now we're moving on to the movies, because that was all the TV shows I got. So, pretty easy going so far. So, okay. Alright, there we go. So, the first movie I have here is Keira. I really love this movie. It's one of my favorite animated films of all time, and yeah, it's great. If you've never seen this movie, it's like, I would say it's kind of Blade Runner, but with a supernatural edge to it. It's amazing, and the motorcycle chase is phenomenal. Then I have The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I reviewed both of these movies on the Throwback Thursday podcast, and I think the first one is okay, and I really don't like the second one. So, there that goes. Ant-Man. I don't really like Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I don't own it. Ants. One of my favorite animated films of all time. This movie's awesome. Like, if you haven't seen Ants, go watch it. It's great. And it's got Sylvester Stallone in it. Rocky, you know. It ain't about doing the best, it's about being the best. Anyway. Oh, it almost fell out of the slipcover. A Quiet Place. I love this movie. I thought it was phenomenal. And gosh dang it, COVID-19, why'd you have to exist? Otherwise I would have seen the second one by now. And then we have, okay, let me bring these up here. The Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Avengers is fantastic, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Avengers Age of Ultron is actually one of my favorite MCU films of all time. I really love Age of Ultron. Infinity War is a masterpiece in comic book filmmaking. I think it's really great. Really love this movie. And then I actually really do love Endgame. I have my issues with Endgame, but I overall thought this was a very satisfying ending to the current era, to the past 10-year era of the MCU. But yeah, I love all of the Avengers movies. Then we got Batman Begins. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Christopher Nolan movies in a little bit, but Batman Begins, I never really appreciated Batman Begins until I watched it on DVD the other day. I must have bought this from Target for like $5, and it's phenomenal. I watch this movie. I try to watch it every year. Then we have the Batman 4 movie collection. Obviously, the Joel Schumacher movies, we don't really talk about those. But Batman and Batman Returns, I actually don't love Batman Returns as much as a lot of people do. But Batman, I think, is awesome. I really do. Okay. I talked about my favorite TV shows. And some of those favorite TV shows have been turned into straight-to-TV movies. Ben 10, Alien Swarm. I know. I know. Let's see. We got Blade. I actually really like Blade. It's actually pretty underrated in my opinion. Is it a masterpiece? Absolutely not. But I think it's a great movie, and a lot of people don't give it enough appreciation. Blade 2. Yeah, we're not going to talk about Blade 2. Let's see. We got Black Panther, one of my favorite films in the MCU, and one of my favorite movies from Ryan Coogler. Really great movie. Oh, Breakfast Club. Ooh, Breakfast Club. Obviously, you gotta have it. Instant classic right here. And watch it if you haven't seen it. Okay. Brother Bear 2. Not gonna talk about that. Catch Me If You Can. One of my favorite Spielberg movies. And actually, it's a really great movie. If you guys haven't checked this out, definitely watch it. It's yeah, it's a very good movie. All right. We got Captain America: The First Avenger. Really great movie. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. My favorite film in the MCU, by the way. And then Captain America: Civil War. Another really great movie. Has its issues, just like Avengers Endgame. I do think it's my least favorite in this trilogy. I mean, not in the MCU. No. Because compared to some of the other films in the MCU, this movie's a masterpiece. But I mean, not that the MCU hasn't made great movies, but you know what I mean. If compare this to like Iron Man 3 or Thor 2, this movie's phenomenal. So, but yeah, I again, just like the Avengers movies, I love all three of these. Chicken Run, and finally, thank you Netflix, we're getting a sequel to this. Thank God we're getting a sequel to this movie. It only took you 20 years to do it, but we're finally getting one. We got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is actually a pretty underrated remake in my opinion. I actually do like this one. It's not better than the original, but I like this version of the story. So, we got the Chronicles of Narnia: Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian. I think I like Prince Caspian just a little bit more than this one. But yeah, it's great. And I don't own the third one because the third one, who wants to watch the third one again? Another Tim Burton movie. Yeah, Tim Burton. Making sure that I got the director right, because I tend to get the directors wrong on these. But Corpse Bride, really fun movie. Then we got Creed, and then Creed 2. I love both of these movies, but I might give the edge to Creed 1. Creed 2 is phenomenal, though. If you haven't seen Creed 2, I mean, what are you doing with your life? Alright, we got the two other Christopher Nolan Batman movies. We got The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight, my favorite comic book movie of all time. Dark Knight Rises, just a close second. Alright, then we got Daredevil. Then we got Deadpool. I love Deadpool, and then Deadpool 2 I also really love, but Deadpool 1 I think is just better. That's just for me personally. I love Deadpool 2, but to me the first one is a better movie. Then we got the Diary of a Wimpy Kid trilogy here. I love Dog Days, love Roderick Rules, don't really love the first one. But these are guilty pleasures of mine. Like, these movies are guilty pleasures because a lot of people don't like them, but I think they're great. And then we have Dudley Do Right. And talk about a guilty pleasure. Oh man, this movie would be considered. Some people would consider this to be complete garbage. I think it's great. Like, I really think it's great. It's not a perfect movie. Definitely not a perfect movie. It's got issues, but I can have fun watching this movie. This movie's funny to me. Alright, now we're gonna move on. Let me get my phone off here because I know things are gonna get violent and scary. That's not true. But let me take a drink of some sparkling ice water. Sparkling Ice, sponsor me. Sponsor my podcast, please. Alright. Let's go ahead and bring you guys in a little. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next bit of movies. We got Elf right here. Elf, I think, is phenomenal. It almost slipped down the slipcover. I love Elf. I think it's great. Let's see. Finding Nemo, one of my favorite animated films of all time. And at one point, it was my favorite animated film of all time, until a little movie that we're going to talk about a little bit later beat it out. So we'll savor that. Fight Club. Ooh, if you guys haven't seen Fight Club, definitely go check it out. It's a really great movie. Came out in, I believe this was 1999, but this was just, yeah, fantastic. And honestly, my favorite David Fincher movie. Okay, let me grab the other one here. Flushed Away, one of my favorite Aardman animated movies. Aardman's the same studio that did Chicken Run, and I love this movie. I really do. Okay, put that back. And then we got Get Out, favorite Jordan Peele movie. Get Out was very surprising to me because I did not think this movie was going to be any good. I saw the trailers and I thought it just looked cheap and dull, and I did not think they were doing anything unique. But then I saw the movie. I must have watched it because of someone from school told me to watch it, and I must have watched it like in the summer or something. But I remember watching this and being blown away by how just freaking great this movie was. Another just one of those horror movies that just makes me go like, wow, this is really really great. Oh gosh. Then we got the G.I. Joe 2 movie collection. Let me explain something here, okay? I don't like G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra, but I like G.I. Joe Retaliation. I don't think G.I. Joe Retaliation is that bad of a movie. Is it a great movie? Absolutely not. It's got issues. Just like 95% of the movies, just like maybe 80% of the movies here have a lot of issues. But I really do like G.I. Joe Retaliation. I think it's a really good movie. Okay. And then we got, the Goonies. Come on, Goonies. Hey, you guys. Yeah. I mean, how could you not like the Goonies? This is an instant classic. If you haven't seen the Goonies, what are you doing with your life? Just go watch it. And I heard they're releasing this on 4K, which would be pretty cool to own on 4K. Not gonna lie, it'd be a pretty cool movie to own on a 4K Blu-ray. Green Lantern. You know what? People make mistakes, and Ryan Reynolds, you made a pretty big mistake when you signed on to this movie. But hey, you know what? You're Deadpool now, and you should be remembered for Deadpool, not for this piece of garbage. Alright. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy, I actually really love this movie. If you guys go back and watch the listen to the Throwback Thursday episode I did on this movie, I really love this movie. I have a couple of issues with it, but I overall really love this movie. It's one of my favorites in the MCU. And of course, you can't talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 without talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This movie's great, and tell you what, it's a great movie to own on 4K. Really great movie to own on a 4K, if you have a 4K TV, which I don't, but I have friends who do, and I've gone over to their house and tested it out, and it looks great. So then we have Hellboy, the first one. I don't love this movie, but I enjoy it for what it is. I think this is better than the 2019 one. For me, I like the second one a little bit more. I don't own the second one though. I don't know why, but I don't own the second one. Alright, let's bring these puppies down real quick. Then we got The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, Hobbit Desolation of Smaug, Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies. Reviewed all of these movies on Throwback Thursday. It should be up on the podcast feed as we speak. They should be all on the podcast feed as we speak. So, alright. Then we have Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman, and it's a great movie. How to Train Your Dragon 2, and then How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I actually prefer How to Train Your Dragon. I think I might actually prefer the third one as my favorite in the trilogy. And I love the second one. I don't own the first one just because I don't really like it, but I think I might just go out and look for the first one on Blu-ray just so I can complete the whole trilogy, because it feels weird just having 2 and 3 without having the first movie. Alright. Then we have Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I don't own any of the other Hunger Games movies, but I actually really do like this one. I think this one is really great. Indiana Jones, the trilogy, and I don't own the fourth one for a good reason. But Indiana Jones, obviously Raiders of the Lost Ark, fantastic. Temple of Doom is my favorite in the series actually, and then Last Crusade. Just come on, all of these movies are great. Inside Out, one of my personal favorite Pixar movies in most recent years. Phenomenal movie, and it always makes me cry just a little bit. Then we have The Incredible Hulk. I really love this movie. An underrated MCU movie, actually, really underrated. And then we have the Iron Man Trilogy. So Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Obviously the first one, great. Second one, okay-ish. And then the third one is a piece of trash. We don't talk about the third one. Alright. It. Hiya, Georgie. This is a really great movie, and I don't own the second one just because I don't really like it, but honestly, I might just go out and get the second one on DVD, not on Blu-ray, but I own the first one on DVD, so alright. Joker. Great movie, one of my favorite movies of last year, and it is just... I remember when I saw this movie for the first time, I did not think I would be so disturbed coming out of a comic book movie. Like, comic book movies, you walk out of them and you don't feel disturbed watching them. You feel like, oh, that made me cry, or oh, that made me, that gave me so much joy, or oh, that was so much fun, that was great, that was a masterpiece. But you never walk out of comic book movies so disturbed. This movie is disturbing, but I think that's why I like it. And obviously, I mean, come on, Joker's my boy. I mean, come on, favorite comic book villain ever, like Marvel, DC, whatever. Favorite comic book villain, Joker. Okay, then we have Journey to the Center of the Earth. Not my favorite Brendan Fraser movie, but I can actually have fun with it. It's a really fun movie to watch. It's a good movie to watch when you need background noise. The Jungle Book, one of my favorite Disney live action remakes, easily, like Jon Favreau. And you would think that Jon Favreau would do a great job with Lion King. Unfortunately, we don't want to talk about the Lion King remake, but Jungle Book, fantastic. The Jungle Book remake was fantastic. Alright, now we're getting into some Jurassic Park stuff here. We got the Jurassic Park, The Lost World of Jurassic Park, and then Jurassic World, the first one. I don't own Jurassic Park 3 or Fallen Kingdom. However, I might go out and look for both of those movies, because I think if you're gonna own the Jurassic Park franchise, you gotta own all of them, even if they're garbage. Like, you'd be surprised. I own an entire series of movies, and some of them I would never watch again, but I own them because it looks nice with the other movies in the franchise. And I think Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom would look really great on the shelf next to these ones, because I don't actually really love Lost World. I don't hate it, but I don't really love that Lost World. But I do love, I love the first one. Jurassic World, I like it very much. Not a great movie, but I like it a lot. Alright, let's go ahead and... then we got Justice League. Okay, let me explain something here, okay? Justice League is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. This movie is average at best. I've always said that this movie is a very average movie. Should a Justice League be average? Absolutely not. But it is an average movie, and it's a movie you can turn on for background noise. You know, a bunch of the movies I have here are movies that I can put on while I'm doing some type of work, whether it's podcast work, personal work, or whatever, you know, cleaning. You do anything you want to do, you put this on for background noise, just so it doesn't get too quiet and dark and scary. But yeah, I can have fun with this movie-ish. I think the stuff with Superman's swollen upper lip is a little bit distracting. But I do like the stuff with Flash, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. Ben Affleck's Batman is definitely not the best part of that movie, but thankfully we're getting the Snyder Cut. Hopefully it will be good. I'm crossing my fingers it will be good, because usually when DC puts out alternate versions of their movies, they're usually not that great, but we'll see. Then we got The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. This movie really isn't The Karate Kid per se. It's more of the Kung Fu. It's more of it should be called The Kung Fu Kid, because they only refer to it as Kung Fu, not karate. They never refer to it as karate in this movie. They refer to it as Kung Fu, and that's what frustrates me so much. But you know what? This movie's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Let's see. Oh, it almost fell out of the case there. Then we got King Kong. Peter Jackson's King Kong movie. This movie's phenomenal. Really love this movie a lot. Alright. Knives Out. One of my favorite movies of last year. My second favorite movie of last year behind Jojo Rabbit, which I don't actually own. Because... Hey, Walmart, do me a favor. Put Jojo Rabbit on sale for like $15 and I'll probably get it. But right now it was like 20. This movie, I got it when it first came out, and I probably watched this movie more than any other movie that came out last year, because this movie's phenomenal. And for those of you who think Rian Johnson can't make a good movie because of what he did with Star Wars, this proves that he can. So definitely watch it. It's a great movie. And then we got Kubo and the Two Strings. Really great movie from Laika. Travis Knight, You're the Man. I did a Throwback Thursday episode on this, so definitely go check it out. Have some more to say on that one. Legend of Zorro. I don't love this movie, but I think... Yeah, I don't really like this movie. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. I've had fun with this movie. It is very different. It is because I've read the books, okay, and these are very different from the books. But you know what? I really do enjoy this movie. I do, and I think this is one of my favorite movies with Jim Carrey. Then we have The Lion King, obviously one of the greatest animated films of all time. Then we got, let me put The Lion King back here. Alright, then we got Little Miss Sunshine. Very good movie. Very good movie. Very good movie. Very enjoyable, actually. Alright, then we have, let me get this, Logan. Logan is obviously one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and it also has the black and white version, which it looks great in black and white. You know, honestly, I prefer watching the black and white version over the colored version, but this movie is phenomenal. One of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And now we're getting into the bad boys. You ready for? Yeah, I don't think you guys are ready for this. We got the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy: Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. Return of the King, my second favorite movie of all time. Just a phenomenal masterpiece, and deserved all of its Oscars. Absolutely deserved all of its Oscars. Fellowship of the Ring is fantastic, and you know, obviously this is just the perfect trilogy all the way around. You know, Lord of the Rings is, I think, along with Back to the Future, a perfect trilogy. Alright. Then we have Madagascar. Fun little movie. That I can watch and not and watch for background noise. Then we got, let's see, Man of Steel. Man of Steel, good movie, not great, but very good movie. Then we have The Matrix. Yeah. I don't know. I'd really like to know what you guys think. Would you guys take the red pill or the blue pill in this movie? Yeah. I don't know which one I would choose, honestly. Okay. Then we got Meet the Parents. Fun movie. Then we have, let's see, Men in Black 3. Not a great movie, but it's okay. We have Million Dollar Baby. If you guys haven't seen Million Dollar Baby, what are you doing with your life? Just watch it. Watch it, enjoy it, embrace it, hug it, and tell it something special. Like, you're a phenomenal movie. because it is a very phenomenal movie. Alright, then we have, let's see, what's Monsters University. Great movie right here. Not my favorite Pixar movie, but an enjoyable movie. Monster House, which, yeah, okay. Monster House. I thought I heard 2 different discs in here, so that's why I opened it. One of my favorite movies from my childhood. I really enjoy this movie, and actually pretty underrated animated movie, actually. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We don't really need to talk about that. The Mummy. Ooh, Mummy, my favorite movie of all time. You know, I'm trying to remember. I just did a Throwback Thursday. I just recorded a Throwback Thursday episode on this. I'm trying to remember what quote I should use. I can't think of a quote to use right now. I wanted to try and find the perfect quote, but I can't. This movie's great, and honestly, I think I'm really tempted to go back and watch this again. It's the one more thing about this movie. This movie is the perfect blend of action and horror. The Mummy Returns, not as good as the first one, but eh. And then The Mummy: Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Terrible movie. Okay. Then we have The Nightmare Before Christmas. Really, really great movie. I like it a lot. Come on. Okay. Ooh, Parasite, one of the best movies of last year. If I had seen this before 2019 ended, it would have ended up in my top 10. It definitely would have ended up in my top 10 of the year, but it didn't. But I really do love this movie a lot. And definitely deserved its Best Picture Oscar. Well deserved. Parental Guidance, we don't really need to talk about that. I don't really need to explain myself for why I own that. The Patriot with Mel Gibson. I don't love this movie, but I mean, put it on for background noise, I guess. It's okay. That's all it is. It's okay. Alright, then we get into the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. I only own the trilogy. I don't own 4 and 5 because I don't like 4 and 5. But I think the trilogy is not too bad. Definitely the first movie is the best. At World's End is probably right behind it. And then the third one is actually, I think, for me, right behind that one as well. Okay, let me try it. Okay. We got Power Rangers 2017. So incredibly underrated, you know? And we're not getting a sequel to this, and that completely bums me out. Like, completely bums me out. And we're going to get a really cruddy one that takes place in, like, the 90s, and it's supposed to be, like, a sequel to the show or something. Very weird. Alright. Okay. The Prince of Egypt, really great movie. Really great movie. One of my favorite animated films of all time. And I think it might be my favorite DreamWorks movie of all time, too. Pulp Fiction. What does Marcellus Wallace look like? Really great movie. And I gotta say, my favorite part in this entire movie is when John Travolta's character accidentally shoots the guy they have in the backseat, Marvin, and they're all paranoid because they're afraid of getting caught in the streets with a dead body in the back of the car. And then they go to Quentin Tarantino's house, which is incredible. Like, that whole storyline is probably my favorite part. My favorite segment of the entire movie is from when they leave the apartment all the way into when they when they're going back to the restaurant. It's amazing stuff here. Ready Player One. Now let's talk about Ready Player One for a second. Okay, a lot of people don't like this movie. I thought this was fun. Okay, this movie was so much fun, so exciting. It has plot holes for sure, but to me, you know what? I don't care. I really like this movie. It's enjoyable. Alright. Oh, come on. Roadhouse. Starring Patrick Swayze. I mean, come on. Great movie. great movie. It's not a perfect movie. Not one of the greatest of all time, but I really love Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. Then we have Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2. I love these first two movies. I don't really like the third one, but I love these first two. Yeah. Alright. Saving Mr. Banks. One of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely my number 3 favorite film of all time. Just a really great movie. And I probably have rewatched this so many times since it was first released. Just a really darn good movie. The Sandlot. I mean, what can I say about the Sandlot that hasn't already been said? Really great coming-to-age story, and this is just a movie you want to watch every summer, and just remind yourself that usually the summertime is a time of fun, and not a time of being locked down in the house. Alright. We have Seabiscuit with Tobey Maguire, Jeff Bridges, and Chris Cooper. Very fun movie, actually. Very good movie. I watched this one time in school, and I really enjoyed this movie. Not perfect, but great movie. I think that movie was up against Lord of the Rings when it was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. The Shawshank Redemption. Oh my gosh, the Shawshank Redemption. Like, just that scene, man. It's just that scene where, you know, he's like standing in the rain, just enjoying, just being, just that sense of freedom. It just felt it, because it's like you're watching an entire movie where you're experiencing this guy's entire life in prison, and then just to see him get his, you know, just to be free. It's such a really good movie. And honestly, I think it might be one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. Alright. Shrek 2. I actually do love this movie. I preferred all the other Shrek movies. And, yeah, I really do love this one. Let's bring that out here. Shazam. Really fun movie, and I really love it a lot. Then we have, let's see here, The Sixth Sense. Bruce Willis. I almost shouted out the twist, but I will not, in case you guys haven't seen it. Please watch The Sixth Sense. It's phenomenal. And surprisingly, it was directed by the same man who ruined the Last Airbender movie. I still don't forgive you for that, Shyamalan, but you made a very great movie. Great movie. Then we got Spider-Man 1 and 2 and 3. We have the entire trilogy here, and it's very fantastic. Great movies right here. Spider-Man 2 actually might be my favorite. Okay, we're getting into some Spider-Man stuff here, so bear with me. Spider-Man Homecoming, great movie, love it. Spider-Man Far From Home, really do not like this movie. Go back and listen to the Throwback Thursday episode, and you guys will hear my thoughts on how much I despise this movie. And then my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time, my favorite animated movie of all time, Eh, 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 eh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Anyway, yes, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I like the fact that the Blu-ray cover is them without their mask, and then the slipcover here. Okay, let me just put the slipcover back on, and the slipcover is with their mask on. I like that. This movie was everything I want a Spider-Man movie to be. A movie that's not just about Spider-Man fighting bad guys and saving the day from extinction. I want Spider-Man to be. I want there to be some like mature themes in a Spider-Man movie, and I want them to take it a little bit seriously. And although this movie has a lot of outlandish concept and it is funny all throughout, it takes itself. It tries to bring in those emotional hardcore elements. That scene where Miles is in the little apartment with his dad outside the door, phenomenal scene. One of my favorite scenes in any comic book movie of all time. Alright, let's put that back right there. Alright. Then we have Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. Okay. I just call it Spirit. This movie, it's fun. It's a fun little movie. Definitely not a movie you want to go back and watch over and 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 over again. But I can put this on if I have nothing else to do, and if I want like turn the sound off and watch some horses run around. I can put this on for a change. All right. Now we're getting into some Star Wars stuff here. So we got the Star Wars episodes 1 through 6. Obviously, the original trilogy, fantastic. Prequels, 2 of them are bad, and 1 of them is actually really great, which is Revenge of the Sith. I'll talk about the sequel trilogy in a little bit. Let me get through the other ones. Rogue One, it's average. Then we have this bonus material Star Wars trilogy that was released with the special editions, but this has my favorite documentary called what's Empire of Dreams, and it's on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen, if you want to watch a really great documentary about the making of a franchise, watch Empire of Dreams. It's phenomenal. Like, just the thought process. You really understand the thought process of what went behind making Star Wars the phenomenon that it is today. Now let's talk about this. All right, let's. So we have the sequel trilogy here. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw The Force Awakens, it was an easy 10 out of 10 for me, and it was my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I still think this is my second favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I do really love The Force Awakens, and I can watch it a lot and still love it. But then we have these two. We have the most controversial, these two movies, which are completely controversial. You have The Last Jedi, which I don't even understand why people are trashing it as much as they're trashing. I don't know why these people trash The Last Jedi. It's really not a bad movie. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. But it's not a bad movie. And then you have The Rise of Skywalker, which just was an absolute mess. It just proves that they never had a plan for this. There's no story here. It's just a bunch of stuff that happens. You know, you can tell just by watching this movie that there was no plan. At least with these two movies, you can watch it and go, oh man, I can kind of see where they're going. Nope. With this movie, it's like, oh yeah, no, we had no plan whatsoever. No plan. No plan. And besides episode 2, if episode 2 never existed, this would be the worst Star Wars movie ever made to me. Now, episode 2 does exist, and that movie is my least favorite Star Wars movie, but this comes such a close second. I do have one good thing to say about Rise of Skywalker, though. I do have one good thing to say. It's over. Thank God. Oh man, but no. In all reality, I do like the first two movies in this trilogy, but this one you just can tell there was no plan. No plan. This is why you plan your thing. In the Empire of Dreams documentary, there's an entire segment where George Lucas talks about how he outlined, how he had a full 100-page treatment for the entirety of the trilogy. From New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. He had an entire outline. And these movies just did not have a plan. There was no absolute plan. Dang, I'm getting so frustrated. I'm starting to get the hiccups. Anyway, let's. Oh God, and we're gonna continue with the garbage fest. Suicide Squad, the extended cuts. I shouldn't over-exaggerate. Look, Suicide Squad was the result of studio meddling. Obviously, David Ayer did not get to release the movie that he was proud of. And we got this movie. Yeah. We'll just put that right there. And then we have Superman Returns. Not a fun movie. A very boring movie, actually. Superman does not throw a single punch in this movie, and it's like Bryan Singer wanted to make his version of what Spider-Man 2 ended up being, which was almost kind of like an independent art house movie. And that's not what a Superman movie should be. You want to go that way with a Spider-Man movie? Fine. Go that way with a Spider-Man movie. And it worked great for Spider-Man 2. But with Superman Returns, it just doesn't work. Alright. And we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy. I love the first one. Second one, Third one is absolute garbage. And just look at the turtles in this movie. Just look at that. Look how awful they look. They look like garbage. At least these turtles, at least those turtles look somewhat cool and look somewhat entertaining. Alright. We got Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Favorite action, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite action movies of all time. And I'm a cybernetic organism. Cyberdyne System Model 101. I know now why you cry, but it is something I can never do. And thanks to Terminator Dark Fate, this movie is completely pointless. When you go and watch Terminator Dark Fate, because what do they do in Dark Fate? Hey, remember how you loved John Connor in the second movie? Gone. But this movie's great though. Great movie. Does not harm the fact that this is a magnificent movie. Then we have Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. We're not gonna talk about that. Alright. Then we have Thor Ragnarok, one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Tommy Boy, I like this movie. I think it's funny. Chris Farley, rest in peace. Yeah, this was a really fun movie. Then we have, let's see. Okay. Then we have Toy Story 1 through 3. I haven't gotten the fourth one yet, but I do really like the fourth one. I think Toy Story 2 might be my favorite though, just because it's just emotionally, it's more resonating to me emotionally. And Toy Story 3 is a masterpiece. Toy Story 1 is great, and I think Toy Story 4 is great. I don't own it, but I think Toy Story 4 is great. All right. Now let's. We got Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, and then Transformers: Age of Extinction. I really like Dark of the Moon. I know a lot of people don't, but I really like Dark of the Moon. It's my favorite of all the Michael Bay Transformers movies. It's my favorite. And yeah, we don't want to talk about the other two movies. Definitely not the other two movies. Treasure Planet, one of my favorite Disney animated films of all time. Just really great. Alright. And we got Unforgiven, fantastic Western movie with Clint Eastwood. And then we have The Village. Village is a good movie. Good movie. Not great, but enjoyable. Yeah, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. What do you expect? Next we have Venom. Not a great movie, but I can have fun with Venom. Another Throwback Thursday episode you want to check out on the podcast. War for the Planet of the Apes, my favorite movie in the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. Really love this movie. Alright, and just real quick, because these movies are basically stuck and they take a long time to take out of the shelf, I'm just going to read off the next few. X-Men, not X-Men Origins, but The Wolverine, the 2013 James Mangold Wolverine movie. Great movie, fun, good movie. Not great, good movie. X-Men 1, I don't really love X-Men 1, but I do own it. X2, X-Men United, phenomenal masterpiece. X-Men Days of Future Past, amazing. X-Men First Class is great. And then Zathura, one of my favorite movies from Jon Favreau. Alright guys, and that will do it for this collection video. This was an interesting one. I haven't done this since, I think 2017 was the last time I did one of these. It's been 3 years. But you know what? This was the first video back on the Zeke Said So channel, and I wanted to make it a good one. I wanted to make it a very epic one. And so you guys got to hopefully see my taste in movies. But no, seriously, I would recommend, if you guys are in quarantine right now, stuck in the house, definitely go watch any of these movies that I mentioned here. And guys, if you guys want more of the Zeke Said So content, in the link in the description will send you right over to the Zeke Said So podcast feed. It is on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the Zeke Said So podcast feed. So where we have the Zeke Said So show, Avatar the After Show, the Web Slingers podcast, and Throwback Thursday are all on that podcast feed. So definitely go and check that out when you get a chance. And that will do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I think you guys should subscribe to my channel because Zeke the Geek said so. I haven't said that in a while, but I'm glad I get to say it now. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.